All eyes have been on the Memphis Shelby County School Board after its decision to terminate Dr. Marie Feagins' contract last week. Now, since state and local lawmakers have both called for a state takeover of the board following a large outcry from parents and the community. Joining us now to talk about where the board and district stands are Interim Superintendent Dr. Roderick Richmond and Board Chair Joyce Dorse-Coleman. Thank you both for being here today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
There has been a lot going on the past few weeks, to say the least, and a lot of folks have been saying, especially some state lawmakers, as I'm sure you have heard, some state lawmakers and county commissioners are saying we need state intervention because they've lost confidence in the Board of Education. Dr. Richmond, what do you say to those folks to really kind of tell them that they should have confidence in the school board, if that's the case?
Yes, sir. I would say they can. I understand what's been going on the past couple of weeks, and I can understand there being some level of apprehension, but I think the board made the decision that they thought was in the best interest of our district by putting me in as the interim so that we can continue with some of our continuity and I can provide the stability that's needed for us to move our district forward.
And Chair Coleman, a lot of folks are going to say that stability is definitely needed because, again, we see the states looking. Some county commissioners are weighing in as well. Yeah. What do you say to those out there, though, who are still, very passionate about their feelings, saying the wrong decision was made? How do you defend that?
I don't think the wrong decision was made. The board voted and the board spoke. Dr. Richmond has done this for over 30 years. He has the qualifications, and that's why we chose him as our interim superintendent.
And with that in mind also, Chair Coleman, some of the issues that you had with the former superintendent, a lot of folks are going to say, did it really add up? Were there really high crimes, so to speak, enough to really fire her? What do you say? And again, I know some things are in litigation. You can't talk about everything. But again, this is your chance here to really let us know where you're coming from.
Yeah, we had enough evidence. We would not have operated if we did not have proof of what we, the saying, the proof is in the pudding. We felt like we had the proof, and we presented everything. We have more things to present. As you stated, litigation will be coming up. So we're going to hold on to some things, but we had enough proof to go forward with our termination.
But you can understand how passionate, obviously, as you saw at some of these school board meetings have been about this.
And it's not taking nothing away from Dr. Feagins. She was a great person. It's just wasn't the right fit for our district at the time.
Dr. Richmond, a lot of folks might be saying right now for you, though, what plan of action do you have, especially with so much talk about a potential state takeover? Are there any meetings with some of these state leaders planned? Have you already met with any of them? What do you plan on doing?
Yes, sir. Well, what I've started off doing is meeting with senior staff. I'm also working on my 100-day plan so that I'll be able to work closely with the board along with internal staff for us to make sure, or for us to ensure that we're prepared to move forward first and foremost with student achievement and making sure we're preparing students for college, career, and life readiness. In regards to meeting with those key stakeholders, I met with Mark White as early as last week along with G.A. Hardaway. I'm scheduled to meet with Speaker Sexton. I want to meet with him. I've spoken with several legislatures.
So what do you want to tell Speaker Sexton? Because again, as you know, he's already talking about the state needs to come in. He needs to explore the quote nuclear option when it comes to a state takeover. What would you say to him, or what do you plan on saying?
What I plan on saying to him is, first of all, I think the district is in good hands with me as the interim at this time to provide continuity and stability. I also think that if given the chance, we'll be able to move this district forward, and we'll be able to create a district that can be a model for the nation when it comes to educating urban students. I think my team and I, along with the senior leadership team, we're in the process of developing a strategic plan, an academic plan, along with other plans that we know we need to do to stabilize our district. I would tell him to just give me a chance to give me an opportunity. I've worked with the state on several occasions. In 2007, when I came to the district office, I came to the district office to work with the state after the district, Memphis City Schools, had been given several mandates in 2007 under then Governor Bredesen. Fast forward, I also worked closely with the state under the ESEA waiver when there was ASD legislation, and they were looking at taking over some of our low-performing schools, which they did. I was the architect of the I-Zone, which you can look at the data. The I-Zone outperformed the ASD, but also one thing that I've always tried to do as a leader within our district is to build bridges. And so being able to build...
Do have to jump in just before we run out of time here. A lot of people may wonder also, Dr. Richmond, about your style. Some people, the reason they perhaps liked Dr. Feagins is because she came in apparently to kind of shake things up.
Yes, sir.
Do you see yourself as being that person who shakes things up, or you have more of a warm and fuzzy approach, or what do you think it takes to make things happen?
What I think you have to do is, I've always been the type of person that has been gentle on people, but hard on the work. And anyone that knows Dr. Richmond will tell you that he's the type of person that is going to hold people accountable, and he's going to allow data and logic to drive each and every decision that we make in our school district.
Chair Coleman, the last word is with you. Can we really change some of these failing schools? Can we improve test scores? Can we also get teachers here, fill some of these positions that are desperately needed? What do you say? What can you put on the table?
Yes, we can. We can fill the teacher vacancies, we can work on, but that's something across the nation. That's just not here local. As far as moving our students, we have the utmost confidence in Dr. Richmond that he's going to work with the board, and we're going to move our district. We're going to be that model district that he talks about, that he's so passionate about. We're going to achieve that.
All right, let's continue this conversation. We'd love to have the two of you back in the future to find out how things are changing, hopefully improving with the Memphis-Shelby County School District.
It's 100 days. We'll be back.
All right.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As well.
Thank you.